Hey guys, it's Alexandra. Today we're going to be talking to Bernice Clark, who is an Inuit woman. Her people are indigenous to Canada, and she's going to be sharing a lot of her culture with us, which all of the information was totally new to me, so I'm sure it will be new to all of you. And she's going to be talking about how she uses her culture also in her small business of all natural soaps and skincares. And I think she's a very interesting and empowering woman, so I hope you guys will learn a lot from her, and feel free to subscribe to my videos below and check out more. All right, thank you.
So I came across you on TikTok and I saw you talking about your culture and I thought it was really interesting because I never heard of it before. So I would love for you to talk a little bit about, what Inuit culture is and, how I did, when I first heard the name, I looked it up to see if I could find out more about it, and it was just something that came up. So I'm glad that
Yeah.
I asked you about that, and I would love if you could talk about how those are different.
Yes. It could be different from household to household, and also the age group. So my mother's age group would still have like a connection to the old term. It's kind of like it's kind of hard to explain. So it's like a rocky boat, because you have people that are so firm. Don't call me that word because it's a derogatory word from the Cree language, where the Inuit and the Cree were near each other. So the land was kind of divided and kind of, I'm trying to say in the nicest way, not friends at the time. And the word Eskimo was given to us to hurt us because we are raw meat eaters. That's what it means. But they did it to hurt, like, you know how children call each other names?
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Yeah.
So we gave them a word too. We gave them a new name. They already had their name, but to hurt each other, we started calling each other that. It's almost like I don't even use the term anymore. I use their a descriptive word. Adlight means pattern. Their clothing were always full of pattern, like bead. So we call them the descriptive word. But the other one was the mean word. So the Eskimo was used through the years to hurt us. Also, it's an old description of people in the Arctic. When I go somewhere new to a different country, they haven't heard of Inuit. Have you heard of Eskimo? I say, and I say it in like that, like, because it's like, don't don't get stuck to that term. I always say I'll use what you know, and then the people. It means Inuit, the people. That's what it means. In indigenous um, words of description of themselves has been the people or the person. So our Inuk word, Inuk is Inuit, many. So we are Inuit. I am an Inuk. So that's my description of the Eskimo word. My uncle always was so angry about it. He had given me that strength to not ever be called that name. So it's also, I want people to know that we are real, that we are not a little shelf toy or an Eskimo pie ice cream or an Eskimo kiss. We have been here for so long in the Arctic. We way before Canada was made. We are the first people of Canada, the Arctic. And hearing that as I'm growing up, it's like pretty powerful. Like I didn't realize. I even now, like as a child growing up, we were so isolated and forgotten, and Canada had used us Inuit as place markers. So they relocated a lot of Inuit who were used as a flagpole. Their dog slaughter happened so that Inuit were no longer nomadic. So they forced us into communities with promises of a better life. So stop using our way of life and come into the community and become like the white people. Become, there's a word for it I'm trying to think of, like blend in, not be an Inuk anymore. Don't use your language. So they took the children from their parents and put them into the school. The missionaries also came in and said, do not practice spirituality because you're practicing evil. That's what they said to us. If you don't practice the God, the Bible, then you are evil. Then you will go to jail, hell. So there was a lot of brainwashing, there was colonization, took a lot of our culture and our language, but we are reclaiming. So these tattoos, they were forced also to stop with spirituality because they see it as evil, the missionaries. So this is when an Inuk woman has her first period. So she becomes part of the community. She can provide now. She can marry. It's to show that she's ready. There's also one here on the forehead. So they were the first ones. There's other lines on each have a different meaning, and it could be for each family. My family, so Ichaloi was a community that was created. The army came from the U.S. and made an airport strip, a landing strip for airplanes to land, to fuel. So if there was ever anything that, again, it's kind of like smoke here. If there was war, they could come here and gas up because of where we are. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of history behind Ichaloi that a lot of people don't know. And I didn't even realize I was going to talk about it. But the reason why I bring it up is because my grandparents were one of the first people in Ichaloi. They came from a different community. So it's almost like you lose your culture and your home. You have to recreate it. So we didn't have these when my grandparents were, my grandparents were one of the first ones to take off the land, forced into the community. They went from hunting into working society. So there was a lot of quiet and hush when I was growing up, and I didn't understand why. And now, as they're gone now, but I'm starting to do a lot of searching and finding out why some families have more strong ways. It's because I found that they came from another community and completely started from scratch. They had nothing, and they had a white tent. They lived in a white tent, and so they really restarted it from scratch. And so I said, I'm going to do this, even though Inuit are still colonized in a way that we were told not to do that. Don't bring that back. Don't do that. That's against who? Against who? So I asked them, who said that? Who told you that? What do you believe? So I'm actually going in the rabbit hole with each person and saying, so you believe that? Let's find out where it comes from. Because we grew up and we're told, by our grandparents and our uncles, and those, we carry those. Like my uncle's Eskimo word, right? I carry that, and another person has it in another way. So it's in conversations that we're, oh, it's not really like that. Ah, so a lot of things are happening like that. So I chose my lines. I chose these dots. They are my meaning. My family can do this. Me, I chose that. So there's a resurgence for power in our own identity, in our own home, because some Inuit are still in the church, so much belief in the church that my grandma said this. Again, I asked them. Some of them I will not speak to because I could feel, I know who to speak to and not who to speak to. So there are, it's like a group of us that are taking back what we're starving for, in their own way. And I always approach them and I always say, I'm with you. I want to be with you. Well, if you want to ask me questions. So I always say to them, I'm your support. And these ones are from Hawaii too, and they're mixed of the kullik lamp, the oil lamp of we used for heat, light, and cooking. The kullik, the oil lamp. So I'm just going to show you here my oil lamp that I have at my table all the time. So the oil lamp is so important to us as Inuit. It helped us survive. So it's so important that I put it on my tattoo, on my back, on my tattoo of a lady lighting a kullik, Inuit woman wearing the amauti. So it's like a baby carrier. So the baby carrier is our intellectual property as well. So it's like a big pouch in the back, and then it's a hood is attached. So she's carrying her baby that represents me and my children, and the kullik that has sustained Inuit through such cold, dark times. I had integrated all this into my logo, my business logo, because it's so important for me to showcase Inuit culture through my business. It has given me such strength. It's helped me find myself, and courage to keep going. And now I'm like, how can I help my fellow Inuit grab and take, and we all have such different beauties inside us. So I feel that once we all start to wake each other up, bring each other back to a place where we're confident, and we could bring back what was taken, just ripped out of our hands. And it's all in our, thank you, it's all in our way of life, our culture, our words we're so subtle. It's inside of us. It's like woven into us. Someone asked me, how do you say please in your language? Oh, we don't have please. But I know that we are as polite as you are. And I asked Inuit, how come we don't have please? And it's inside our words. It's in between. And it was broken down, and I was like, oh, I got goosebumps, and I just love my culture so much that I'm always asking, and I have so much knowledge that I have to take back. That's another part that I have to fight, is don't beat myself up because I don't have knowledge that other Inuit have. So I went 3 weeks ago, I went for a retreat where we took back how to skin a seal skin from beginning to end. And that was so empowering. I felt like I took back something. I felt whole again. I felt like that's what was missing. And I'm so excited. Like, it's just becoming whole. And this is through Biruvik, a lady who has a vision of also bringing back cultures in ways that were lost through colonization. It's Biruvik Lina Ivik. She also is she has a school of Inuit we're agreement with University of Victoria. So it's a brand new thing that is recognized all over the world now. So it's a big deal. And through this Biruvik, I also learned how to light my kulliq. That kulliq, the oil lamp. And we did it with an elder, and the elder was 65, 70. She facilitated the program in full Inuktitut with no assistance, an elder with no the culture, the white culture where you need like degree certificates to prove that you know. She has so many years of experience that those degrees are by paper, just paper. She came in with none of that, only hundreds of years of knowledge, of Inuit knowledge, and it was being passed down to us. And I kept crying because it's in us, it's in our blood. It's like we crave it. We are starving for it. So she graduated for the oil lamp to open meetings. It's a beautiful thing to see so many of us lighting our kulliq. It's very quiet and it's so powerful. When I look so special to me, but I feel the profound importance of that moment, and it's so quiet. You could hear the pictures being taken, the cameras going, and it's like I could feel it. It's a quiet strength of lost in reclaiming each woman. It's like it's called bringing the kulliq home. And even the word itself is so beautiful. So in my business, I want other Inuit women, not just Inuit women, but all Inuit, to see that they also have that ability to take back, and that they have something else, something to give, to add to it all, because we're all becoming whole again. And it's very slow. There's a lot of things that we have to, it's slow and very precise, and we're careful. Sometimes it feels like it's not moving, but I know it is. I have to be patient. Where I sometimes I feel like I want to get up. Come on, let's do it. I'm like, okay, it's happening. Even the teenagers are taking back the culture in their way. They're taking back the throat song on their own. It's beautiful. The teenagers, like, and it still makes me, that's beautiful, that's powerful. So the change of the throat song is also changing. The throat song is also changing from the original, where it used to be, it's changing into, again, Inuit, a lot of Inuit didn't like it being changed. They didn't want you're doing it the wrong way. That's not how you do it. You're supposed to do it like this. There was a lot of that. Her name is Tanya Tagak. She started throat singing on her own and expressing through throat song, where Inuit have, like I told you, the Inuit were taken from their parents, missionaries. There was a lot of sexual abuse, beaten, their hair was cut. So trauma. The parents came home, they didn't heal. They had children, they didn't heal. It's like that. So through these programs of ourselves that we're doing, not the federal government, we are doing small little retreats to try and heal from all the pain and trauma we've experienced. So to go back to Tanya Tagak, when she was getting a lot of lateral violence from her own people, telling her that you shouldn't do this. I get that too. Telling her that you're taking something and making it into ugly. She went on and continued, and I'm so proud of her that she continued on her own, that she is now using the platform to show who Inuit are and the traumas that we have gone through and why we are the way we are. Our people, there's a lot of hurt and there's a lot of anger that we have to deal with. And there's a lot of us that want to heal. And then there's a lot, it's humans. We're human nature and human behavior, and also our condition in the Arctic. We are the highest food insecurity in Canada. And Canadians don't know that. Canadians don't even know we are here. Canadians don't even know that we were the flagpole. There was starvation for it because Inuit are nomadic and they follow the animals. There was no animals where we were placed. There was starvation. They died. A lot of Inuit died from hunger. So for Tanya to use the platform to show who we are, our realities, she's so strong. I have so much respect for her. So I want to show other Inuit to be their own boss, that they can provide for their community, to make changes where they want, not to wait no more. There's no more waiting. We have to be the change. And I want to spread that seed of thought of Inuit thriving, of being their own one day hope. I hope that to have self-government in Nunavut, for the people to govern themselves. We did it ourselves before before missionaries came. We had everything. Everything that a society. We had doctors. We had scientists. We had it all. We had the language. We had our ways, our beliefs. So, yeah. I really want to encourage other Inuit to take back how they can. We all have that little magic, right? We all have that little spark. Each will be different, and it'll be beautiful when it's all together. So through my business, I've really, I didn't know I was getting stronger through my business with my culture. I took a program, it was called Entrepreneurs. So Ben Scott created this program, the vision for Indigenous people to be standing and providing. Right now it's the third cohort, and the first cohort was land-based businesses where Indigenous and Northern business owners did a 6-month cohort. So it's like a business administration program, 2-year program, condensed it to 6 months. and online training. And we had some amazing people come in that was so motivating and had such a big vision, like a bird. That's how I can explain it the best. So I learned a lot how to run my business in a way that shows my culture and motivate other Inuit. That's all I want. I really want to emphasize is I want to encourage other Inuit to take back what they can. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, you must have a question. I'm talking so much.
Can you talk about what your business is?
Yes. Okay, so I started doing an all-natural body care line, and I was doing it for about a year. My good friend's mother knew that the product was healing for eczema, so she came to me with blubber, with bowhead whale blubber. The bowhead has been stopped being hunted for 100 years because the whalers came and overhunted, and Inuit always want to help. We didn't know that we were hurting us. We didn't know that. So Inuit they were being used to hunt. So the whalers would take the oil and bring it to Scotland, like the oil lamps, makeup for those, and the bowhead bone, like for corset, that they also used for corset. So then the overhunt happened, and then the numbers drastically dropped for the bowhead. It was only in the recent years, I'd say 10. I'm going to get better with this knowledge, but very, very recently, so recent that 100-year-old, he just passed. The 100-year-old man, he was a little boy the last time he was hunting. And he went for the hunt here that happened, I believe it was 7 years ago. I may be wrong, but he was in the boat and he was crying, saying, "This is beautiful. It's been so long since we've been able to do this, that we can taste it again." So she came to me with the blubber, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't think we're gonna use this, honey." So we put it away and it fermented. And then my husband thought, let's see if it'll blend in. Let's see if it'll even work. So he tried it, and then he said it didn't separate. It worked. And there's a smell because it fermented, and we let it. So I called her back. I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't believe you. I'm going to be honest. I thought you were crazy. Can I have some of that blubber?" She laughed and said yes, because she also knows where we are, our reality as Inuit. It's not cool in the 70s to look indigenous. It went through and it went through all my life. My grandma and my grandpa, "Oh, hide, the white people are coming, hide the food. Do we smell like Inuk in here?" Like, it's always been shame. So she understands where I was coming from, that old knowledge was lost. So I got some more blubber and did it the proper way, like didn't let it ferment. And no smell. There was no smell. I couldn't believe it. It worked. And the knowledge that she gave me was that the bowhead was used for healing. The bowhead was used for bad skin, like heating the house, the corsets that were made for the baleen. Those were for houses. So losing the bowhead was it harmed us. It used to feed us, house us, feed the dogs, our transportation. It was our everything. So losing it was a very, very big loss. To reclaim the bowhead into my soap, I've had people cry. I've had elders cry to me because the special meaning of the bowhead. And I only use leftover. I don't go out and kill for the animal. That's not how Inuit are. We use everything, and we feed a whole community. We do not take more than what we need. It is just our way. Our footprint on the earth is so minimal. Even when we're on our land, we watch where we're stepping. We're so like, don't step on the plant. I mean, that's just ingrained in us. So when I claimed it back, I put it into my business. I knew how, like, sometimes you could see in the future of some moments, right? Like profound it is, because no one's done this before. I did something for the first time with Mika, and I'm very thankful to her that she allowed that moment. And I say to her, it's not just me. We got to share this. Like, this is me, and like, you gave it to me, but also it's for Inuit, like, to reclaim and in a small way. I mean, we're not a big company. We're a very small company, and I've purposely kept it small because I realized I wanted to use my business culturally, and I don't want it to become like a big mass production business. I've had offers for people, what do you call it? Investors. At the time, I said no, because I still didn't really, I was protecting the business of growing too quickly, because I knew that it had a purpose somehow. I don't know yet, but I just feel something. I'm going to wait. So my husband is full-time now. It's been 2 months. He's full-time now. He's able to take on the workload, so that for now, again, I have a vision later, but my vision, I would love to be home and do this full-time. I have visions of doing programs of the small camp, hunting for the boys with Inuit, run by Inuit, run for Inuit, where the boys and girls, I'm not going to be discriminative in my thoughts already. I'm like, if a girl wants to go hunting, she's going to go hunting. And if a boy wants to sew, he's going to sew. So again, in a new way, because men were taught how to sew, but the women were in the camp and they sewed. And, you know, the throat song was their a way to entertain, make noise, meant to, but also roles. I want them fluid. I want it to be fluid. So the vision I see is the hunt happens, because when the hunt happens, old Inuit ways are already happening. You don't even know it. Once we start going hunting and on the land, we don't even know, but we are already healing. So, and I picture the skinning process, the blubber process, that culturally. And then the other world, the new world, where I'm doing soap with it. So I'm blending two worlds into one. And that has won us a couple awards. Yeah. So the award was that I brought an old way into the new way. And that was so empowering. I was like, wow, what? That's crazy. What are we doing? And then I was like, okay, let's do this. And then we won another award for couple 2 years after the first award. So it's very like rewarding and encouraging to be believed. Like they believe in us. They see our vision. They see our that I want to help bring back in some ways that I can, in the way that I can. So the business started as I wanted soft skin. My cousin showed me how to make the body butter, and then I went to the craft fair, and everybody was starving for natural products. I didn't even know. Okay, what else have you got? What else? Like, so I entered a world of natural, which then brought healing to me. It's like I entered a room, like-minded people, and it completely changed. I didn't even realize what I found. So then I got the list. Then I had people that promised they're going to buy. I promise I'm going to buy, please make more. And then my husband, who didn't believe in, I asked him to go to the craft fair with me, and he's like, no, I'm not going to the craft fair. And I felt kind of, I'm alone. Okay, I'm alone. Let's do this. And at the time I was selling Mary Kay as well. Mary Kay is cosmetics. I think you've heard it. Yeah. Mary Kay Cosmetics. Mm-hmm. It's all over the world. So it taught me how to be a business person. Like, yeah. I did it for about 10 years before I learned how to, build a stock. So I built on it, put the money in, built it. I just kept putting the money back into the business, and then dealing with customers. And so it taught me that business aspect of it, and the courage to even do it.
Mm-hmm. So spiritually, yeah. What do the Inuits believe?
It's still the Bible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am a spiritual person. I don't believe in the Bible not the Bible, but the man-made or the man part of it, the human part of it, human nature, human beliefs. We're very vain and as a human, right? And our ego is there. So I'm very spiritual in a different way of the Bible. I'm healing. I just want to be a good person and do good. So the business right now is doing really well with we're doing really well, but the tundra also I use I'm still working on how I'm going to do employees. It's a bit slow right now, but I believe in it. I approach like Inuit women who need, I feel, an opportunity maybe to make extra money. So I just say, hey, I like a bag like this, a large bag. I like $20 for flowers, like, just a buds if you ever want to. And when you can, when you want to, but that's also, like I said, you're healing as soon as you touch the land. Mm-hmm. And I see that it's like, I don't want to say like manipulate them into touching the land so they can heal, like touch the land, you'll instantly heal. Like we don't even have to do anything. As soon as we go on the land, it's so healing. Yeah.
So do you live by any sort of like special phrases that you say in your language that have meaning?
Special phrases. We a lot of what I do is in my body. Like we sometimes we don't speak and we're speaking. Does that make sense? Like I don't think not in my household, phrases. I mean, our Inuit way of life, Inuit, the meaning, it means to live harmoniously with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big reminder. Like just this morning, I had a fellow Inuk put down a minority group, and I messaged him. I don't even know him, but I reminded him, don't you remember what you were told? That you have to be good, that you have to be helpful, that you don't put people down. And that one strong word, it's like a big reminder. It's like a light. Oh, thank you. Like we keep each other. We have to keep each other accountable. I'm very much keep me accountable. I'm very much that way. So I'm very much like that with my fellow Inuit. So yeah, I messaged him and I got through.
Aw. Well, there are so many important things to learn, but what would you hope people that aren't familiar with Inuit, what would you hope is the main thing that they can learn about the culture from you?
So a lot of beliefs of Inuit are that because of our pain, our trauma, and no healing facilities, there's a lot of drinking, a lot of substance abuse. And I always try to remind people, we don't want to be that way. We're not born, oh, I want to be an alcoholic. We don't do that. Like, it's because our pain is speaking. I want people to know that Inuit, we're reclaiming, we are healing, and we came from the land forced onto like the everyday social society. We lost so much and we're reclaiming. I don't want to hear anymore, oh, they're just alcoholics. I don't want people to think that we are. I want people to know that we are so much more than that. We are a people that are reclaiming, and it's only so fresh, like 50 years ago. Like, geez, like, give us a chance. We're coming back. And yeah, I hope I shared enough.
Yes, thank you so much. I learned so much, and I wish you so much luck with your business, and so glad to see you're empowered and you have a vision, and I can tell that it's going places, so good for you.
Yes, thank you. It's like a boat.
Yes.
Hop on. Let's go.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I really
Thank you so
appreciate
much
it.
for inviting me.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. And I wish well
Thank
to you and your family. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.